One of the challenges of the beautiful pattern site is that not only does it have to be pretty, that is engaging for users, but it also needs to be easy to update. We have been able to make it quite good looking. However, it's been hard to update. So recently we re-engineered the site, rebuilt it from the ground up to make it easier to update and be a little bit simpler when it comes to the use of those that are taking courses. So as you can see here, this is the landing page. It's pretty simple and has a certain structure that you can think of it as a template. It has a navigation bar across the top. It connects to bootcamps, to courses, to media, and people. Now, behind the scenes, it's a very simple structure to be able to update. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like, and I will show you the GitHub repository. We will share with you the ultimate location. This is right now a temporary one, but as you can see here, there are a number of documents. All of them have the extension of .md, which stands for Markdown. That is, this is the document that GitHub understands, and behind the scenes, it can also do the translation onto HTML. For example, if we were to choose the landing page, the one we were just looking at, you could see here index. If I select it, you can see here the top part of the page has a table, and that corresponds to some of the parts that you would not change. That is the layout of page, the title, the image, and the description. Now, the rest of it could be content that could be customized to every single page. Now, if you see here, this looks pretty much like what the page looks like. You can see here. But there's also a code behind. That is the code in which it is written, the syntax that it uses to be able to format the page. And you can see here that this is using markup. This little pound sound stands for heading 1. And you can see here how the rest of the links are done and so on. This last part here is simply just comments. So that is the structure. Is very simple. You can make any updates you like. You can make then a pull request through the usual mechanism of updates for GitHub. I will show you what it looks like within the development environment, and that is if you choose to use code spaces or simply the editor within GitHub. You can see here we have the listing of the documents, the same as in the repository, but now we have them in the editor. And you can see here that first block that I showed you, and then the rest of the code. And you can see there, you get some syntax highlighting if you're using Markdown tags or Markdown syntax. Once again, this is very, very simple. If you wanted to see a little bit more, we'll send you a link for the documentation, but in reality is just a handful of things. You can see here how the headings are done. Note that one of the ones that I showed you was precisely that. You have some styling, you have some quotes, and a number of things that you can do as you would in most platforms. But the important thing to note here is that this is pretty flat, pretty simple. It is easy to update. There's no HTML, no JavaScript. So I will be sharing this with you, and I'll follow it up with some links as well.